Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Don Mafia Report. The bye week is over. We should be hearing from Sean McDermott here in a couple of hours. Have no fear. This is a two-stream type of day. But Panthers week is here, and the Buffalo Bills are in desperate need to bounce back after losing back-to-back. And when I tell you that it was one of the longest, most excruciating bye weeks of my career as a content creator, I'm not lying to you. I need this team to bounce back, not only for the Buffalo Bills' sake, but also for my sanity's sake, right? I have been experiencing so much negativity throughout the past 2 weeks of people like really clamoring for some absurd solutions. And that's no fault of your own. We love this team. I'm never going to police somebody on how they fan, but for the love of all that is holy, we need to win this game. And what I plan on doing on today's episode is I want to unpack everything that there is to know about this Panthers team, pave a path for a victory. Now, this team is 4-3. They have won 3 straight games, and we're not going to be seeing Bryce Young. It's now Andy Dalton. But I still think that there are quite a few things that the Buffalo Bills can expose. Hopefully, the coaching staff and the players were able to self-reflect, and they will be able to get right. I think this is a game where if Buffalo does not win by a 14-plus point differential, I'll probably still be at least a little worried. But have no fear. I'm very excited about this conversation today. As always, I ask guys, hit that thumbs up sign. It's the easiest way to show love over here on the channel. And let me know where you are tuning in from. I am talking to the lurkers of the building. If you're just sitting back and you're listening to me while you're going about your day-to-day, I'm not going to ask you to participate all stream long, but at least let us know where you're tapping in from the very beginning. You guys already know the drill. We need to give some love over to some of our proud partners today, because without them, where would we be? A giant shout out to our good friends, William Mattar. Folks, if you are ever hurt in a car, you got to call William Mattar. #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. Obviously, I'm not wishing a car accident on anybody. I just want to be able to lead a horse to water, if you will. Please memorize the phone number on screen. And always keep William Mattar top of mind in case you ever have to go through one of those unfortunate scenarios. Shout out to my guy, William, for being a proud partner all season long. Also need to give a giant shout out to our good friends over at Sleeper, the #1 player prop platform on the market today. And guys, they're literally giving you $20 just for signing up. It is absolutely addicting. All you do is pick 2 to 5 players, predict accurately if they are going to go above and or below their projections. And if you get all of them right, you could see up to 1,000x of your overall play. They're also matching 100% of your first deposit all the way up to $100. Shout out to Sleeper for being a proud partner of today's channel, baby. I am absolutely loving this. Let's see where everyone's tapping in from, guys. Again, do not be shy. Where are you tuning in from? We want to hear from you. It is a must win. If we lose, 1 seed is gone and the AFC East is gone. I'm not going to give up the AFC East just yet, but 1 seed I definitely would. Mikey is coming in. Convinced going on Hard Knocks was the reason for all of this. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I need this game to be over with a giant W, a convincing W in the standings for the sake of my sanity and yours. Thank you for keeping us updated, Dan. No problem at all. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Been there picking Bills gear every day this week. I'm going to bounce back big time. I love to see it, Brian. I hope that the gear choice is exactly what this Buffalo Bills team needs to move forward. We have Tallahassee, Florida is in the building. I'm from Virginia. Also, how would you feel if the Packers and Steelers make the Super Bowl? I'd be upset, right? Because my Buffalo Bills team is not there. Good morning, Dan, from sunny St. Cloud, Florida. This game against the Panthers begins to bounce back for the Bills. Give Cook the ball and let Josh be Josh. Hoyt and Ogunjobi will be huge. Gulfport, Mississippi. Go Bills. David, what's going on with you, man? Maine, Toledo, Ohio. Orchard Park is in the building. Rochester, New York. Sarah from Colorado. Arkansas, go Bills. from Cheektowaga, Gowanda, New York, Jerry, Hamburg, Fort Collins, Colorado, Salem, Virginia, Chattanooga, Tempe, Arizona. We have Hamburg all over the place. Tampa. Man, Bills Mafia is truly worldwide. That is for damn sure. Now, let's dive into this Carolina Panthers team, right? Because I know that everyone's worst fears are circulating around your mental right now, thinking that there's a possibility Buffalo could drop their 3 games. So I kind of want to take a look at this Carolina Panthers defense first, because I think that there are some opportunities for this offense to get right. Now, this defense, for the most part, right, is not a very pressuring type of defensive line. So that's something that I feel like we could all feel very encouraged by. In fact, just to show my work, I was able to put together a couple of things from FTN Fantasy, which is my advanced analytics platform that I use to educate the masses. Now, when we look at this defensive line over in Carolina, it is a stark difference from what we saw versus the Atlanta Falcons. Stark difference. In 2025 so far, the Carolina Panthers have only generated 52 pressures. That is 32nd in the NFL. They are only generating 21.1% of the time in pressure rate. That is dead last in the NFL. They only have 11 sacks. That is 27th in the NFL. 4.5% sack rate. That is 25th. 76.5% opposing quarterback clean pocket throws. 32nd in the NFL. They are gift wrapped in clean pockets to opposing quarterbacks. Something to think about. You would think that a team that struggles generating pressure would probably blitz a lot, right? Not the case. 57 blitzes in the NFL. That is 28th in the league, and are only blitzing 23.1% of the time. That is 27th in the NFL. So starting off with the trenches, as far as what we can expect from Josh Allen and this passing attack, which is going to be interesting because Joshua Palmer is not out on the field. Hopefully Dalton Kincaid is good to go. I'm assuming that he will be. Josh should have all of the time in the world to find the open man. I think that this is a massive advantage when you stack up our offensive line versus their defensive line in the pressure category. Now, Derek Brown is a very talented player. He's deadly against the run. He had a great game against the New York Jets this previous week. But for the most part, this Carolina Panthers team is just not generating pressure. So what I would like to see is a lot of 12-man personnel. Get Jackson Hawes out there. Get Dawson Knox out there. Run 21-man personnel. Have Ray Davis and James Cook out there as much as humanly possible. You are going to have a clean pocket. Now it's going to be up to Josh Allen to find the open man. That's key number 1. Leverage your advantage with the big men up front. And when you look at the defensive line, it makes all of the sense in the world. You have Wanham. You have DJ Wanham right now, right? His defense grade is 53.7. Pass rush is not there. He was drafted in 2020, right? You have Wharton as well. He was drafted in 2020 as well. His pass rush, nothing to sleep on right fast. But then, of course, you have our good friend Derek Brown, who is by and large the best defensive lineman that you have on this team. His run defense, 81.9. He's the reason why we're going up against arguably one of the best run defenses in the NFL. So does that mean that James Cook is going to be struggling? I don't know, right? Like, we were going up against a team that was a very good run defense, and James Cook was still getting anywhere between 4 to 5 yards per carry, but then Joe Brady, for some odd reason, decided to shelf him. So let's see what this is all about. If we are running the football, make sure it is out of 12-man personnel. And then last but not least, you have Nick Scorton as well, your edge rusher, who's number 11. He is a true rookie so far. He's a rookie at the end of the day. So the defensive line is something to take a look at. I'm not anticipating a lot of pressure from this team. A lot of clean pockets are going to be Josh Allen's way. Find the open man. that is what we are looking for. Now, what I want to do is really attack this defense because we're probably looking at this guy, right? His name's J.C. Horn. At one point, he was the highest paid cornerback in the NFL for about 5 minutes, all up until Derek Stingley ended up getting his contract. It's funny how the NFL contract world goes. J.C. Horn, very talented player. He's a ball hawk, 6'1", 200 pounds. He most of the time locks up the perimeter and the boundary of the field. Now, the thing is, hear me out here. He does not travel. The Carolina Panthers do not allow this player to travel, much unbeknownst to him, because when they were playing the Cowboys, news was coming out that J.C. Horn was practically begging his coaching staff to make sure he traveled with George Pickens throughout the entire game, right? I think they let him to a degree, but for the most part, with J.C. Horn is going to be living on an island right over here. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Because Keon Coleman, look, I never thought this guy was going to be a wide receiver number one. It frustrates me that he has been getting wide receiver number one type targets. So if we want to line up Keon Coleman on J.C. Horn's side of the field all game long, sign me up. And don't you dare give that man a target unless he's running a route in which that he is comfortable. And I hate to say it, but his most efficient is the slant. And the last slant route that he ran was a fumble in our own red zone, right? Or in the opposing team's red zone. So let's go on ahead. Line up Keon Coleman on J.C. Horn's side of the field. He's not going to leave that side of the field all game, all right? And start working somebody else here. Shakir and Dalton Kincaid. I think those are your keys to attacking this overall defense in the pass game. Same thing with James Cook. All week long, we have been discussing we need this Buffalo Bills team or this offensive coordinator to start utilizing our running backs in pass catching situations. We have all three of them are capable. All three of them. Ty Johnson, who dare I say we paid this offseason, a 2-year contract extension, has been a no-show. Utilize him in the pass game. Cook, utilize James Cook in the pass game. Sure, I understand he had dropping issues in 2023. Is the coaching staff still upset with him about that? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But if that is the case, get over it. Start utilizing my guy, okay, in pass catching situations. Now, right on the outside, at least according to PFF, I really don't know what Buffalo plans on doing with the other boundary wide receiver. But where it stands, we have Curtis Samuel. That's what PFF believes is going to be our wide receiver 2 on the opposite side of the boundary. I feel like a lot of us have been wondering, hey, man, like maybe Curtis Samuel actually will be utilized on the boundary and he'll be solid. Who knows? Maybe this is a Curtis Samuel revenge game. I have no idea how he ultimately ended up leaving Carolina during his early portion of the career, but he's going to be on the outside. He would be going up against a gentleman by the name of Mike Jackson, who is average at best. He's coming out of Miami. His coverage grade about 60, run defense at about 49.6. So I think the pass game is going to have to be one of the biggest focus points of this game. I want to test this run defense. I give them all the credit in the world for being top 10 in several metrics. But we have to test them. See what they can do. Pepper them with some James Cook runs at the beginning. And make sure you get favorable third down attempts. Favorable. And so I'm not talking about 2 back-to-back runs where we get stuffed behind the line of scrimmage and boom, it's 3rd and 12. Give me a lot of 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s. I think that you can get that done. Secondary is interesting for me because I ultimately ended up taking a look at what this Carolina Panthers team tends to run. Not a lot of man coverage, as far as I'm sure you can guess. Once we end up pulling up our stats hub over at FTN Fantasy, and again, this is not a paid partnership. I just really love these guys. Say, for example, you are football nerds and you really want to be able to unpack everything that there is to know about every single football team and every single player, I highly recommend you check them out. They are the best in the business. But this is the type of team that you typically run with. Their zone coverage, they run a lot of zone, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of zone. 6th in the NFL for zone rate. 69.6% of the time they are in zone. Man coverage, not so much. When you ultimately end up looking at them in the man coverage scheme, I'm going to go ahead and put this down, you will see the Carolina Panthers are only running 30% of the time man coverage. They love the too high safety look, limiting the big play. So what does that tell me? That tells me you better pepper the underneath stuff. I think there's a part of Josh Allen that hates that. In fact, an interview a couple of years ago, he came out and he said he never wants to be captain check down. But God, this defense is begging you to take the underneath stuff and allow them to create yards after the catch. So when you end up looking at who is open, since they run a lot of zone, some of the most zone in the NFL, 52% of the time, this is the worst in the NFL, folks. 52% of the time, somebody on the field has over 2 to 5 yards of separation. Some wide receiver, some playmaker on the field, one of them has anywhere between 2 to 5 yards of separation. That is the worst in the NFL. It's probably a part of their game script. It makes sense. It tracks when you end up looking at how much zone that they run. But you got to take advantage of this. My God, you have to take advantage of this. Like, make sure you dump it off to James Cook. Say that the first and the second read is not available. Just please, just go on ahead and dump it off to him, right? Just go on ahead and hit Khalil Shakir, like right on that short dig. Or hit Dalton Kincaid on the slant right in the middle of the field. And so attack the safeties. There's going to be somebody open. Make sure you take it. Make sure Josh Allen goes through his reads and he makes these sort of responsible type decisions. As far as wide open percentage, let's take a look at this. Have the Carolina Panthers are sitting at 9th in the league for 11.3%. So 11.3% of every single drop back, there is a wide receiver or playmaker that is over 5 yards of separation. 9th worst in the NFL, where it stands. So that's the defensive side of the football. What we have learned thus far, as far as keys to the game, like I said, number one, leverage your mismatch. Mismatch is going to be the trenches of the Buffalo Bills and pass pro, because they're not going to generate pressure. They generate the least amount of pressure. So they generate the least amount of pressure in the league. Just make that happen, right? Number two, pepper Shakir and pepper Dalton Kincaid. One of them is going to be open. Statistically, one of them is going to be open. Just take your threats. Why I'm putting so much weight into this analysis, guys, is I got to tell you, I'm not feeling all that good about what Rico Dowdle and Hubbard might do to this run defense. So how do we take that away from them? I'm not entirely confident that our defense is going to be able to stop them. I think the only way that we force the ball into Andy Dalton's hands, and he has to be a guy that can throw for over 300 yards in order to beat this team, we just need to take a significant lead. Like, this offense needs to go out and be dominant. It's hard for me to ask this team to play quality offensive football for all 4 quarters because I haven't seen it this year. Say that it happens, I'm going to be a happy camper. But, I mean, dude, like, give me 2. Like, give me at least 2 quarters of dominant offensive play. Like, give me a solid 14-point lead, a 10-point lead for the vast majority of the game, and that takes away their entire script, because I'm going to tell you guys, look, like they are going to run the football against this team. They are going to test this team. And why wouldn't you? So the Buffalo Bills offense needs to be able to take advantage of what we're looking for. So far as takeaways, this Carolina Panthers team has taken the football away 6 times. A lot of them have been credited to J.C. Horn, but like I said, he's the type of guy that's going to be on an island. He is not going to travel with Shakir. He is not going to travel with Dalton Kincaid. He's going to be on the boundary. That's going to be locked up. I'm fine with putting Keon Coleman against him, because you want to know why? I don't want to see many targets to Keon Coleman like on Sunday. If, for example, that the Buffalo Bills can go out there and get a healthy lead, sure, target Keon Coleman, but only after we have a 14-point lead. Only after we have a 14-point lead. If you're really trying to force this wide receiver, give us a little bit of cushion. And then I would be completely fine. We have Dowdle 17 carries for 79 yards last week. There's a way to limit him. Dan, can you check if Hoyt is a good run defender? He's decent, but Larry Ogunjobi is hands down one of the best. He's automatically, statistically, going off of last year in 2024, he's the best run defender on this team. Now, I heard that his camp was rough, and I think it's left to be seen what he looks like as his first game back in NFL action since last year. I'm not expecting him to be as dominant as I believe he will be down the stretch, but automatically, yeah, he's a dude. He's a dude. Now, we've gotten this about the defense. Like I said, still try and test this run defense. That's number one. Number two, leverage your mismatch from the offensive line and their defensive line, which has a hard time creating pressure, have all the time in the world, and find the open man. Because that Carolina Panthers team has an open man at one point. It just goes to show you how much zone that they run. It's a lot of too high safety looks. You would be able to feast with this Buffalo Bills offense. Will be able to feast with how they run their defense, specifically underneath. Take that and take full advantage of it. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably wondering too, like something that really stood out to me here for a second. It's not air yards. Here, let me see. Something that's efficiency. Hold on. Yak. When it comes into yak, folks, so this team has let up 690 yards worth of yards after the catch. So they're telling us the answers to the test. Do the Buffalo Bills take advantage of it? Time will tell. Time will tell. Bills have got to stop playing from behind. They need to show a sense of urgency from the beginning, not just the fourth quarter. I totally agree with you. We know Dalton won't run, so just got to stop the run and find pressure. And look, as far as their offensive line is concerned, it's okay. So they do have some good players on that offensive line. But as much as we love giving the Buffalo Bills crap, folks, so the Buffalo Bills are getting pressure. When you end up going into pressure percentage, for most pressure at least, you have Buffalo is the third team in the NFL for pressure rate. So not going to be bad here. So that is big when it comes into the Buffalo Bills defense versus this Carolina Panthers offense. It's just how it is. We have Dip. If Brady would throw away that Temu playbook he bought, he would be on the other side of this. We have Panthers offensive line is missing Robert Hunt. It's probably going to be something big. Can Ed Oliver have himself a game? I'm telling you, in December, we will be taking the division. I have put my hair on the line, folks. I have bet Colby from the AFC East Roundtable that if the Buffalo Bills do not win the division, I will shave my head. I will get a buzz cut if, for example, the Bills don't win the division. I'm that confident that they do. I think Coleman needs to be inside to use his size and quickness against safeties and backers like he did in college. That's where the big targets came in. Put our speed outside Samuel and Moore. I mean, yeah, dude, look. It's that, and then maybe even roll the dice a little bit with Khalil Shakir as the X. Like, roll the dice a little bit with him out on the perimeter. I mean, he did it in college. I know you like Shakir out of the slot, but Keon probably would be a hell of a lot more efficient as a big slot. I think that's what you would want to do. So you have Elijah Moore and Curtis Samuel out on the outside. Can Josh establish chemistry with both of them? I feel like that's the question, like, at the end of the day. But now I think it's time for us to take a look at this Panthers offense. All right. Like, what should we expect from this team? Let's go over to the rushing part of the situation, because let's just say that Rico Dowdle really has risen to the occasion since he took over, filling in for an injured Hubbard. Now, one thing I have heard, all right, because sometimes I like to do a little bit of recon. Sometimes I like to listen to some specific reports from Carolina Panthers beat reporters so I can get a good understanding of what they are seeing out on the field, right? And something that's intriguing is the Carolina Panthers have almost taken a page out of the Buffalo Bills coaching staff's book, where they are loyal to a fault. Where if a player has been a part of their DNA in the past or has been on the roster longer, they are always going to get the nod for more opportunities. Meaning, a lot of Panthers representatives are thinking that although Rico has been playing very well, based off of the behavior from this coaching staff, since Hubbard, is healthy again, he's going to be the one that gets the most of the carries. I have no idea why. Maybe they switch it up. But last week, you would think that Rico Dowdle would go completely off and he would be the new feature back. But no, it was very well split. Like, you saw Hubbard have his fair share of a hell of a lot of carries. So what's that look like? But as far as the rush defense, the rushing attack for the Carolina Panthers, all right, 4.7 yards per rush. And they're going up against a Buffalo Bills team that is letting up about 5.6 yards per carry. So something to think there. They run the ball a hell of a lot. And I think a lot of that has to do with their inconsistency at the wide receiver position. Now you have Andy Dalton out there, who has not been taking a lot of reps with the ones. He's a veteran, so I'm sure that he's going to be able to find his favorite guys. He tends to like Xavier Legette more than he likes Teteroa McMillan, at least based off of last week. Rush yards per game, 140, and rushing touchdowns per game. Folks, I'm going to tell you exactly what their game plan is. It's probably everybody's game plan against this team. It's run the ball. It's run the ball. What is Larry Ogunjobi going to do for this run defense? Maybe now that we're giving Deon Walker a bit more rest, he's going to be wildly effective, right? Maybe we end up elevating Jordan Poyer to this team because we think that Rapp is just way too much of a liability out there. Maybe we put Shaq Thompson out there instead of Bernard. I wouldn't hold your breath. And so I think that Bernard is probably still going to be out there. Although, let's say that it was up to me, I'd probably end up running with Shaq Thompson and Matt Milano. If Matt Milano was able to play on Sunday, again, I'm not holding my breath. But Shaq Thompson's been one of the best linebackers we have on this team. And Milano's been playing well, but, I mean, it's Milano, right? Like, how many games can we truly trust him to play? As far as their passing attack, it's hard for me to really look into this because Bryce Young is not playing. I think I know what to expect from Andy Dalton, but as far as statistics, I feel like it doesn't tell you the whole story. But it's all about stopping this run or trying to limit this run. And I'll tell you what, I've been pretty high on Larry Ogunjobi coming back for this reason alone, and this reason only. When I look at the defensive tackles of this team, and I really think that this is going to paint a picture. And some of you that are easily frustrated are probably about to be like, oh, Dan, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, and that's just an excuse. When you look at our defensive tackles so far this year, which is typically the DNA point or the first sign of having a semi-competent run defense, it all starts with the interior defensive line. And when you look at the players that have been rotating in at the defensive tackle position. We see players like Jordan Phillips. That's a practice squad guy. We see Zion Laug. That is a practice squad guy who's been elevated about 3 times now, by the way. He is unable to be elevated again. You have TJ Sanders only had a 2.5% run tackle percentage, which is piss poor. You had Ed Oliver, 17% run tackle percentage. He's a pass rushing defensive tackle, and that's the best one we have on this roster. Okay. We have Deion Walker at 15.56%. That's great for a rookie. And so I'm not mad at him for that. Like, he's one of the best interior defensive linemen we have on this team. But no matter how you scrap it or look at it, for the most part, the Buffalo Bills have not had their starting defensive tackle duo all season long. I mean, we have it, right? We have almost always, outside of week 1, have had a practice squad player in there having significant reps or a rookie having significant reps at all points. This is not what Buffalo wanted to do with their defensive line this offseason. That much I can tell you. We wanted to have one of the most well-oiled rotations in the league. And unfortunately, the injury cloud has been plaguing us. Why I like Larry Ogunjobi. In 2024, his run tackle percentage was at 19.68%. He is automatically the best run defender that we have on this team if you are going off of 2024 statistics. That's encouraging. Now, I'm not thinking that he's going to fix everything for this team, right? But damn, folks, I would absolutely love if he could slightly improve it. And you get me from going 5.6 yards per carry, worse in the NFL, down to 4.7. I'm happy as a camper. From going from a 32nd all the way to 21st, sign me up any day of the week. So I think Larry Ogunjobi coming back is going to be a benefit of this team. With Michael Hoyt as well, I think with Michael Hoyt coming back, that is going to elevate the performance from Joey Bosa as well, right? Like, Bosa has been a bright spot of this defensive line. He's half of the reason why I think we are 3rd in the NFL for pressure percentage. But he's out there for 60% of the snaps. Like, you want the most out of Joey Bosa, like, you have to get him 45, 50%. Having Michael Hoyt back is only going to elevate Joey Bosa's production. So you're damn right. That I think both of these guys coming off of suspension, we should all feel pretty optimistic about it. That much I can tell you. Now, run defense is interesting, right? Because I regularly dive into advanced metrics. And the Buffalo Bills defense, as far as EPA, as far as DVOA, is top 10 collectively, right? Statistically, we're one of the best secondaries in the NFL. We have let up the 2nd least amount of passing yards in the NFL. Now, maybe that's because teams can just run at will and there's not a lot of attempts at the end of the day. But, I mean, how bad is the run defense is what I'm saying. When you look at the yards per carry, I really think that there's one stat that really plagues us. Because it doesn't make sense why, like, we're top 10 in EPA and DVOA, but then when it comes into run defense, we're among one of the worst in the NFL. I figured it out. And I don't think a lot of us are going to be happy about this, but it's the truth. The Buffalo Bills, where it stands today, ladies and gentlemen, 31 explosive runs so far this year. That is 31st in the NFL. 31 times a running back has had an explosive run against the Buffalo Bills. 19% of every rushing attempt against this team has resulted in a run of over, I think it's 15 yards FTN has it as. That's a tackling stat, folks. That is a tackling stat. That is an inability of being able to shed your block stat, folks. What would this look like if the Buffalo Bills were to take away 31 explosive runs? Where would this run defense be at ranked? I'm going to do the calculations a bit later, and I'll put it on X. Follow me on X, by the way, at Real Dan Mitchell, if, for example, you're interested in that. Something to say. But here's my plan for this offense. Number one, you got to get pressure on Andy Dalton. This is a very good line in Carolina. Have Robert Hunt injured, obviously. But as far as pass blocking, like, these guys have it done, right? So these guys are actually pretty solid. Give me a good day from Bosa. Give me a good day from Ed Oliver. Give me a good day from Gregory Rousseau. Prove to us that you are actually a good defensive line. The metrics suggests that we are a good defensive line as far as generating pressure. Get to him on the very few pass attempts I think that he is going to have. We force Andy Dalton to throw the football 30 times, we win this game. As far as stopping the run, this is what I would suggest. I'll see if they do it. This guy right here, Rapp, bench him. Thank you for your time and contribution to this Buffalo Bills defense. Thank you. And so you had your bright spots with this team, and there's no disrespect. But you, sir, are an absolute liability out there. Is Jordan Poyer the best option? No. But he's the best option we have. Currently, the Buffalo Bills have one extra roster spot open. Sign Jordan Poyer to the roster. Sign him to the roster. Sit Taylor Rapp for a little bit and see what Poe can do. At least I know that Poe is going to be aggressive. At least I know that he's familiar with this defense. Some of you might say, oh, Dan, yeah, with Jordan Poyer. Like, give me another solution, because this guy has been by far the worst player on our defense all season long. Just go on ahead and elevate Poyer. Make him single high if necessary. Bishop, right here, stack him in the box. Stack him in the box. Utilize him the way that he should be utilized. He's a strong safety. He is a true strong safety. That is where he is the most efficient, is being as aggressive as humanly possible. Give me Bishop right here. If you're running nickel, and if Matt Milano is healthy, I don't think this is going to happen, because I think that the Buffalo Bills are as loyal as can be to Terrell Bernard. But say that it was up to me, and so I'd have Matt Milano and Shaq Thompson out there. And that's what I would do, because Bernard is leading the team in missed tackles right now. He's not playing all too well. Like, maybe it's the case of the yips. I think that's going to sort of how it's... So I think that's kind of how it's going to be, right? As far as matchups, I mean, like, McMillan's going to roast Trey White. It's just how it is. He's not very fast, so I don't particularly think that he's going to burn him in any, like, type situation. I'm pretty sure Tet runs like a 4.6. So I don't think that White is going to be, like, burned by him. But I do think that McMillan has the physicality advantage. So I think McMillan will probably have a pretty good game. Like, what does Shaq Thompson have to say about that? Like, can you assist in coverage? Can the secondary actually communicate, like, with each other? Like, no more blown coverage percentages, which we've seen quite a bit. As far as I'm trying to be optimistic that this defense can improve, you're noticing that I'm really not diving into how I think this team can mitigate what this Panthers team is going to do. My focus is way more on this offense, because that's what I trust. I trust this offense so to get an early lead and allow this defense to play the script as they do. So they present some challenges, but what is this team made of? It's helpful that Buffalo is 7-0 after the bye. I like that. Just make it 8-0. Just make it 8-0 at that point. Question: with so many options on the defensive line now, can we shop someone for D help? If so, who would you move? So I think that if Buffalo makes any moves at all during the trade deadline, it's going to be a wide receiver. It's not going to be a defender because with this team has so many holes in the defensive side of the football, one player is not going to fix it. And Buffalo is very strapped with cash right now. We have about $2 million. I just don't really see us like adding a CB2, especially if we're serious about getting Maxwell Harrison back. I mean, we'll see if Dorian Strong, like we still have no news on what's going on with him. But yeah. So I don't think that we're going to be utilizing defense as far as a trade. Maybe we switch Rapp and Bishop so the veteran safety can help Trey with McMillan. But Bishop doesn't seem to trust his eyes a lot when he does things like the Saints interception happen. Dumping Milano saves up to $350K in cap space, and trading gets rid of $6 million according to Over the Cap. I just really don't know a team that would be interested in sending over draft capital for somebody that's injury prone. And then number two, he's a free agent next year. So if a team really wants Matt Milano and say that I was the GM, I'd probably roll the dice and just wait until free agency next year. I'm so glad the Panthers already announced that Bryce Young is going to be out this week on Monday. So it gives the Bills the right preparation against Andy Dalton. I mean, yeah, dude, look, it's going to be an interesting play. He's not the type of quarterback that can throw for over 300 or like you can ask him to do it and win, right? He does, based off of last week, he prefers Xavier Legette. So hopefully it's Benford on Legette. And if Ted McMillan and just absolutely cooks Tre'Davious White, okay, whatever. And just make a couple of stops. Just grab a turnover. And the Buffalo Bills offense needs to be perfect this week. And that's how I think we do it. Statement: as long as Brady has the proper game plan, we will be fine. So the defense isn't great, but it gives offense enough chances to increase the lead, and they haven't. He needs to use Cook to his full potential. So I would even argue that I kind of want him to be open to making offensive adjustments. That's something I've noticed from Brady is that he's so locked in on his script or his game plan that I don't think that he's the type of offensive coordinator that makes appropriate adjustments and sticks to those adjustments. Maybe outside of the fourth quarter. So when they say, all right, like let's switch things up. Sometimes I think he is handcuffed to his scheme and handcuffed to his specific game plan, even if it's not working. He's forcing it sometimes. So give me some adjustments. I'm completely fine if, for example, like he goes out there and he says, hey, listen, and so I want to test this run defense that's supposedly top 5 in the NFL. But God forbid, right? But God forbid if he goes out there and Cook is just getting dominated, switch it up, please. Switch it up. Line James Cook. Like line up James Cook. And so as the wide receiver, if necessary, right? Like utilize him in the pass game. Two-part question, Dan. Dan, first, you think our team can follow the script and go back to fundamentals and just hand the ball off with James Cook? And two, and do you think we still have a chance to take the division? Yes. I am still very confident that this Buffalo Bills team wins the division. I put my hair on the line. So if we do not win the division, then I'm going to go on ahead and get a buzz cut and I will be looking like Bob behind me. But yes, I am still confident that we win this division. Cook needs more check down passes. He always has 6 or 7 yards of space to get moving. That would open up Shakir more often, in my opinion, for sure. And so we have to utilize James Cook in the pass game. He's capable. Like, that's what he was in Georgia when he was in college. Like, he was a pass-catching running back. It's how it is. He's that dude, man. He's that dude. Yeah, Cook, Davis, and Johnson all have hands. Use them. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. 6'7". All right. All right, folks. It's very important and to make sure that you have bell notifications turned on for each and every single video. So, guys, say, for example, you are subscribed and you don't have bell notifications turned on. I highly recommend that you do, because sometimes, like today, I am going to be live for a second time. And that second time, I am about to be unpacking everything we learned from Sean McDermott's press conference. I'm going to be looking at the first look injury report and really unpacking any other storyline that we didn't get to on today's show. And I will be opening up the call-in line. I'd imagine that I will be live right before the AFC East roundtable this evening. So again, if you haven't, make sure you have those bell notifications turned on, and I will see you a bit later in the afternoon. And so I love each and every single one of you, and we'll see you soon. Peace.